What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Wellness Equation, where we balance your life and elevate your health. Today, we've got another Reddit story. We've got a person who's dealing with A1C issues, which a lot of people are dealing with. But let's dive into this and see what she's got to say. So, she starts out with this. I'm on the struggle bus this morning. I'm newly diagnosed with prediabetes, A1C 6.0, female, 27 years of age. Since being diagnosed, I have changed my habits and have lost 10 pounds. So far this is really good. He sounds like, a person that's decided to take action. That aside, let's look at the story for exactly what it is, exactly how it started. We've got a female at 27 years old with a pre-diabetic A1C. How did we get to a pre-diabetic A1C at 27 years old? That's my immediate question. Why so young? Okay, but let's continue. This past weekend, my family and I went to the pumpkin patch where nothing but goodies were sold. We bought some mini donuts because they only have them where I live once a year. I also ate some pulled pork nachos and drank a strawberry lemonade and checked levels at 3 hours and they were 130, which leads me to think that there was a huge spike in between that time frame. Now I feel really guilty and I'm craving sugar. I'm struggling to accept that this is my reality right now and I'm too young to be dealing with this. I love baking and comfort food for the holidays. Now I feel like I'm not enjoying life. I know it's a mentality thing, but it still sucks. I don't want to get into a horrible rut where I'm living completely miserable, not being able to eat what I once did and once loved. I feel like I have turned this into my personality at a point. So, first things first, what I want you to do is first replace the word or any mention of food in this story with the word alcohol. And replace, instead of, blood glucose for the spikes, with blood alcohol level. Wouldn't this sound crazy? Granted, this person is doing what they can. We gotta not take away the credit for that. She's already lost 10 pounds. But let's examine something here. Why is life much less enjoyable when you don't get to do what you want to do, eat what you want to eat? More importantly, why is a choice either I get to eat what I want to eat and be happy or nothing and be unhappy? The point isn't to never enjoy food again. It's only to have food that you really, really like and really enjoy that could be very calorie laden sometimes. That's the point here. So to me, this isn't really a problem about food. It's more about the relationship with food. And again, replace the word food with alcohol and see how much sense what I'm saying makes. So she continues, I have to only eat around my 8-hour window and plan out my meals perfectly, and everybody else just does and eats what they want. I feel like I'm going to stress myself out with this and make matters worse. And that's where the story ends. Okay? Now, she said something very important there. I don't know if everybody caught that. She mentioned all these people around her. So, all these other people, are they also pre-diabetic? Because if they eat in a similar way that this person does, I'll put money on it. If they don't have it now, it's on the way. Especially if this person was able to get it at 27. And a lot of times the way we eat, the habits that we do are formed by the people that we're around. So I wouldn't say it's far-fetched to assume that people that she knows have some of the same habits. Because to achieve a pre-diabetic A1C, this is what this actually means. Let me break it down because there's a couple of things you got to understand about how the body works. So first thing you need to understand is that blood sugar doesn't just float around in your bloodstream. It sticks to things, and sticking to things can damage things, especially when it's blood sugar. Okay? And one of those things that it sticks to is your blood cells, right? So the thing is, blood cells get recycled every 3 months. The average lifespan is around 120 days, which is around 3 months, right? So you're always making new blood cells that don't have any blood sugars attached to them, right? So you may have blood cells that do get stickiness attached to them because of that floating blood sugar, but eventually those cells should be recycled. Now, What A1C measures is the percentage of your blood cells with that blood sugar attached to them. So think about this. Your blood sugar has to be high enough, consistently enough, for your blood sugar or blood cells to have that blood sugar attached to them at a pre-diabetic level, keeping in mind that they are recycled every 120 days, okay? That's what this means. So in order to have this, that blood sugar has to be floating around constantly. On top of this, your insulin should be telling your muscles and your liver and other things that absorb or respond to insulin what to do with that sugar, which is more than likely to absorb that and take it out of the bloodstream. So if your blood sugar is remaining high for a very, very long time, it's obviously not going into any of these cells. And that obviously means that the thing that's supposed to tell them to absorb that blood sugar isn't getting the message across. And that says to me that there's a little bit of insulin resistance because it's not responding to insulin. So your blood sugar is going to remain high. And if it's high consistently enough, that blood sugar is going to be attached to even the brand new cells that come into play every 120 days. And that's going to make your blood sugar, your A1C go really high, and it will diagnose you as pre-diabetic. That's how this works. Okay? And the thing is this, insulin is released at the mere taste of something sugary. It's just, that's how it works. When you ingest some carbohydrate or some sort of sugar, insulin is going to go up because your blood sugar is going to go up because you have just taken in some sort of carbohydrate or sugar, right? Now, when you have a spike in sugar, insulin is what tells your body to take it out of the bloodstream. So the spikes aren't bad, okay? The spikes aren't bad. Spikes happen to everybody because you have insulin normally in play to help you take that out of the bloodstream. So prediabetes is not a reflection of your blood sugar spiking. It's a reflection of long-standing, consistently high levels of blood sugar. And there's only a couple of ways that can happen, especially if you have cells that normally take up that blood sugar. It's either you have a diet that is consistently full of sugar constantly and you have perfectly working insulin, or the more likely case, which is you have less response from insulin or less response to insulin because you have an insulin resistance. Okay? Those are the only two ways that you're going to have high blood sugar. Okay? Now, remember, blood sugar doesn't float around. It sticks to things. It damages things. You start getting blood sugar affecting your nerves, and you get things like peripheral neuropathy where you have pain in certain parts of your body. Your healing is less robust. You don't heal as well because all of your blood cells are affected, even the ones that help you heal. Okay? You start to get problems with vision because of how the blood sugar may attach to your nerve cells. Like, this is a disease that takes a long time to happen. So for it to happen at 27, it speaks to the severity of the habit of keeping that sugar constantly in your diet, in your life, right? This is what your A1C is reflective of. And so I can imagine that this stirs up a whole range of emotions: fear, jealousy, bitterness, sadness, loneliness, frustration, guilt, fear about your blood sugar levels, whether they're about a blood sugar spike or about what your blood sugar levels are going to be in the next morning. Bitterness about the life changes that you now have to navigate because you're a pre-diabetic person. Sadness and loneliness, like this person just expressed, about feeling excluded during celebratory meals with loved ones. Frustration with slow progress towards better health. Like, she's made progress, but it's frustrating that someone might not be where they want to be, and guilt, I can imagine a lot of guilt from the persistent cravings, even though that, the cravings that you're craving aren't necessarily good for your body. And on top of that, sometimes these cravings win. I can imagine someone feeling guilty about that. These feelings are valid. You're not alone in experiencing them. They're very valid. But you've got to remember that you're on a different path than other people, because you're actually here because you want to be better. Okay? And other people haven't found that place yet. And so you're on a different path. And sometimes the paths that lead us to the best places for ourselves are often paths that we have to travel alone, at least for now. If you're unwilling to accept that you're different, that you've got to undertake this mission on your own because you want something that's different. You desire something different, something good for you. When you accept that, going on this journey without the people that you love the most on your own becomes less of a problem, okay? This is how you prioritize your health. This is how you prioritize doing something good for yourself. Because imagine if someone who wanted to quit cigarettes said the same things that you're saying about food. What is the advice that you'd give them? Because life isn't over just because you got diagnosed with prediabetes. This doesn't mean life is over. Something like this can change, okay? But your lifestyle has to change first. The problem isn't really the spike in your blood sugar. Blood sugar spikes happen to everyone. And the problem is not the spike. The problem is that your body doesn't know what to do with the sugar once it spikes. Your A1C is high because of consistent high blood sugar levels, not just that one spike. Let's lower this with lifestyle change. And even though you set out on this journey alone, it doesn't mean that you have to be by yourself. And this is where I help people in guiding them towards the right path to bring not only some of these things back to normal levels, but mostly to focus on doing this by improving their diet and exercise habits. Because believe it or not, this exercise that you have to do, especially muscular exercise, is going to be key to getting this out of your health profile. I'm telling you that now, okay? Muscle is probably where 70 to 80% of your blood sugar is absorbed. And if we can get you exercising, we can find a natural way to lower that blood sugar, okay? So if you like the content and the message, remember to click the like button and subscribe for more content like this. This is what I help my clients work on through sustainable lifestyle changes, through diet and exercise. And if how this person feels is how you're feeling, reach out to me on Instagram and send me a DM with the word interested on my IG page is linked below. Or you can visit my website, www.reahealth.com. If you visit my website, you can actually sign up for a free consultation. I'll talk to you in person, and we can figure out what's the best path for you forward to get you on a path where you're including more diet and exercise habits that are more aligned with health. And in turn, this can end up bringing some of these things back into normal levels. So let's talk about how to move you in the right direction, because this could all really be very, very simple. It just sucks and it's not easy. You're not going to be on the same path as everybody else. Doing what everybody else is doing is going to lead you into being where everyone else is being. We want to have you be somewhere else, okay? So once we solve your lifestyle, a whole lot of things will get better at the same time. I can promise you that, okay? I'll talk to you soon.